What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So the part 2 10th anniversary stream has just ended. So we have gotten some awesome reveals for the headlining units being the main thing that's been revealed to us. But then there's a couple of other tidbits of information that we're going to go over here. So yeah, real briefly, we're just going to take a look at all the stuff they just talked about. Just to make this a little bit easier so I wouldn't have to bother, scrubbing through the stream over and over, I've actually got a couple of screenshots already set aside so we can take a look at the information. So the very first thing that they went ahead and talked about here is the Training in the Clouds special event is going to be revamped. So now there's going to be this new item, Proof of Mastery, that you're going to be able to farm up from this Training in the Clouds event, which is really cool. And then very quickly, I did need to mention this too. Proton, our, resident data miner and stuff that we are all depending on here, was looking into the Training in the Clouds event. So we have found out that it is going to have a really high link level rate. This is going to be an awesome place to be link leveling characters, similar to like the Natate Village event. But Proton has clarified here that there is no attempt limit on this in any way. So this is not going to be one of those once per day things, which was confusing a lot of people because Training in the Clouds historically was a, you could only do it once per day. So apparently this is going to be a new, not limited event at all, but just you can do it as much as you want, right? So that is going to be huge. I am very excited for this to release so I can just do, endless link leveling on it. And obviously, buy everything out of the shop with those new items that you're going to be able to farm up here. So that is really exciting to know. Okay, yeah, so that's basically everything for this Training in the Clouds bit. Okay, so the next thing that they, went ahead and highlighted again is the, limited event here, the Master at the Dream technique. They did clarify for us that it is still going to be limited to the 3 times every 7 days, so it'll be the same as when it has previously been around. No other updates to this, because this is just a returning event, right? But very good to know that we're going to have this awesome link level stage as well. For those that don't know, this is getting an updated link level rate, so it's now going to be a link level rate of 45, which I believe will be enough to guarantee link level ups every run all the way up to link level 5, and then from there on it's going to be pretty high percentages still, right? Probably with a 10% chance to get a link from 9 to 10, something like that. Okay, now the big news, obviously, we have got the brand new headlining characters here. So these are the 3 headliners that we are looking at for part 2. So the Dokkan Fest is going to be a Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel, Super Saiyan Goku Angel that fuses into a Super Gogeta, and then we have a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth and a Final Form Frieza Angel and Goku. So if we'll notice here, so first, if you aren't aware, the Gogeta card is going to be the Dokkan Fest, and then the other 2 will be our carnivals. But if we take a look here, 2 of these card names have the plus in it. Now, the plus is what they have been using for the tag switch mechanic. There's only one other character in the game that has the plus currently, which is, the Part 1 LR that has the tag switch mechanic. So yeah, it looks like the Goku Frieza card is actually going to be a tag switch card as well. So this is really exciting stuff. Just because, we're getting not just 1, but 2 tag switch characters. So that's very cool. Okay, and then we'll show off this here. Yeah, so this is advertising the tag switch here, right? So we're gonna be starting out in base as Vegeta Angel and as Frieza Angel, and then the tag switches will take us into Goku, and the tag switch here will take us into Goku. So yeah, that is perfect. And then showing specifically for the Gogeta, there is also, the same way as the Part 1 Vegito, the Vegeta here is going to have the ability to fuse into Super Gogeta. So we'll have to wait and see what the kits look like, just to know how I believe they did announce that this is going to be a limited fusion, limited turns you're going to be able to do the fusion into Super Gogeta. So yeah, we'll have to see, the specificities in their kit, just to see, how good or bad these things are going to be. Okay, so they announced that the next broadcast is going to be held on Valentine's Day, next Friday. So this is where we'll be getting more information. I assume this is the part where we will actually see the banners. We're going to see the character kits and everything, just like what we saw in the part 1 stream. So they're splitting this up this time just to give us a little bit of hype ahead of time, and then they're going to drop all the character kits and stuff. So we don't actually have, you know, all of the, like, character information yet. But that is totally fine. No worries there. So I guess one comment I wanted to make really quick about these couple of units. So the Gogeta, obviously, I am very excited for. I assumed pretty much everything was like assumable about the Goku and Vegeta. Like, I assumed that it would be a Vegeta in base that tag switches into a Goku, simply because the part 1 LR is, you know, vice versa of that, where it starts as Goku and then tag switches into Vegeta. So it makes sense that they would balance that. So no surprises there. And then because I have been tuned into everything going on social media, I was already spoiled on the fact that there was going to be a Gogeta, right? And then, you know, it was pretty safe for us to assume the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth, right? A lot of people were pointing to the whole, you know, the very likely possibility of the Father-Son Kamehameha. And apparently that is exactly what we've gotten right here. Now, the Goku Frieza, this is the big sender, right? Not a lot of people were expecting a Goku Frieza. It was one of the main ideas being put out there, but it was also the biggest one that was being shot down for a couple of different reasons, right? So, you know, the one moment in the series that hasn't really been highlighted too hard yet is the fight against Jiren, but the portion where it's Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 that are all fighting together. So I think a lot of people were holding out hope that there would be, you know, a trio card that we would be getting for the 3 of them. Unfortunately, that is not the case here, but a lot of people thought, you know, because the trio wouldn't really match the theme of the celebration of, like, family and rivals, right? That it would make sense that it would only have to be a Goku Frieza, but everyone was convinced that if it was going to be a Goku Frieza, they wouldn't do it now because a Goku Frieza in 17 would have been the next iteration of it, and that wouldn't fit the theme of the anniversary, right? But they proved us all wrong, and they just went ahead and gave us a new Goku Frieza anyway, in place of anything else that could have come from Dragon Ball Super, like a new, you know, because we got the Evolution Blue Vegeta in Part 1, with, you know, the unit super attack with UI Goku. I was thinking it was possible, potentially possible, that they gave us a new UI Goku that was, you know, the inverse. But, you know, that didn't happen. So instead, we've got the Goku Frieza here. But the biggest, absolute biggest thing is the plus sign. This is so huge for this card. So I know, like, most of the community is actually very, very not hyped for this. Actually, there's a little moment from the stream I do want to pull up and show you guys really quick, just because I thought it was funny. Okay, cool. So what we've got going on right here is they have already announced the character kits, and they want to show off a couple of the animations. So Omatsu is guiding the crowd, basically asking, like, which of the animations of the most, you know, of the new characters do you want to see? He surveys the audience and has them clap. So go ahead and take a look here. All right, sweet. We got a good bit of clapping going on there. Seems like people are hyped for the new Gogeta. Obviously, that wasn't a crowd-booming roar because half of them had been spoiled that the unit was going to exist prior to this stream even happening. So people are like, yeah, whatever. So there we go. Gohan fans around. Like, that got an even bigger clap. Like, kind of makes sense to me, honestly. It would have been a bigger clap coming from me as well. Alright, you guys ready for this? Like, that's that's kind of awkward. Goku Frieza got, like, no claps. No one cares. Literally no one cares about the card. But I have a very, very huge point to make about it, and we are going to do that right now. Okay, so this is our Part 1 tag switch character. This is the only kit in the game that I can show you that has the tag switch mechanic attached to it, right? So one really, really big thing to remember about tag switch characters is that they have fixed one of the biggest problems in Dokkan, which is the categories on Joined Forces units. Generally speaking, when you have a unit that is on the Joined Forces category, because there's multiple units featured on the card, they will only be on the categories that are shared between both of the units. Now, one of the biggest updates they've done is with these tag switch characters, they're now including all of the categories that would be on either one of the units. So you notice we've got Super Saiyan Goku and we have Super Saiyan Vegeta here. So that means they are on both Vegeta's family and Goku's family, right? Even though typically any of the Goku and Vegeta combination cards that we have aren't on either of these categories, because the Vegeta's there to ruin getting the Goku's family category and vice versa, right? So this is huge if we're considering the fact that we're getting a Goku Frieza tag switch, because now this means every single category that a Universe Survival Saga base form Goku would be on, they'll be on those categories, and every single category that an Angel Final Form Frieza from Universe Survival Saga would be on is going to be on those categories too. So now they're not going to be stuck with, I guess let's pull up the LR, like LR Golden or Goku Frieza that we have now, and then we'll take a look and compare. Okay, perfect. So this is the existing Goku Frieza LR that we have. Look at this pathetic list of categories right here. It's so bad. This is one of the biggest problems with this unit, right? They basically have only ever had one team. You just run them on Universe Survival Saga, or they're not doing much for you aside from that, right? Like, we have never really had many other places to run this character, because a lot of these other categories are really niche and not things that you would typically run, right? So yeah, we're not going to suffer that problem this time around. So I also pulled up here, this is a Final Form Angel Frieza, so it's the exact same character that will be represented in the tag switch card. Now look at all of these categories. None of these are going to be taken away. So I guess you could expect, yeah, literally every single one of these categories is going to be on that tag switch card. And then, unfortunately, I was looking through Universe Survival Saga. There is literally not one single base form Goku. These are all signs of UI, right? There are no base form Goku cards on Universe Survival Saga. I didn't even actually realize that. So yeah, unfortunately, there's no way I can show off the exact categories that, like, a base form Goku would have on Universe Survival Saga, but I guess we can get the idea pretty much from, like, we'll use, like, a UI card to kind of look. So, like, obviously a couple of these categories wouldn't be there. Like, Realm of Gods is not going to be there, because that's only because of the UI state, right? I think Accelerated Battle probably wouldn't be there either. And Legendary Existence won't be there, as well as Miraculous Awakening, right? And then, yeah, I guess Transformation Boost, too. So yeah, all of those categories wouldn't be here, but then all of the other ones are on this card specifically just because it's Goku, right? And then also a couple of them do highlight because of, like, moments in the series, right? Like Powerful Comeback, Battle of Fate. Those are things that are based around, like, what fight in the anime it's coming from. So those things will still probably be represented in it because of, you know, the moment that Goku Frieza is actually representing in the anime. But yeah, so basically, what my grandiose point is after all of this rambling is that I think Goku Frieza is going to be a lot more hype than people are letting on. I think them adding the tag switch mechanic here is absolutely genius, and it needs it even more than cards like this. I was talking about this when the Part 1 LRs dropped, and just saying that, like, you know, I didn't really think that the tag switch mechanic was, like, that insane, but it's just because they put, like, a double Pure Saiyan Super Saiyan thing. So it's like they have most of the same categories anyway. You don't really need the tag switch to, like, give them that buff. But if they're going to start doing more tag switches for characters like this, that's going to be huge in the future. You know, imagine if we were to get a new, like, LR God Goku and Hit, that kind of thing, right? Like Golden Frieza and 17. I'm just thinking of a lot of those different Join Forces cards that we have. I suppose we could actually just pull up Join Forces and take, like, a quick look, because there are so many different characters here, right? Like, you know, obviously, looking at, like, tag switches going forward in the future, I'm not too concerned with, like, oh yeah, we need a tag switch for, like, Broly and Paragus, right? Because same categories. We don't need a tag switch for, like, you know, Goten and Trunks type of thing, right? Like I'm sure they're going to give us a million more tag switches that are Goku and Vegeta based. That's what they love to do in this game. But I am much more interested in seeing things like this, right? Gohan and Piccolo, because they're going to provide a lot of different categories, right? Cell and Frieza, that's going to be huge whenever that kind of thing comes out. So yeah, there are potentially a lot of cool things that we could see with the tag switch thing in the future, but I think that the new Goku Frieza is going to be the first iteration of that. Okay, so that is basically everything that we've got about the new units. I don't have any more comments to make about them until we see the kits or some more animations from them or anything like that. So that was pretty much everything they went over in the live stream. They also showed off a couple of memorabilia items. I guess I can show this here. So yeah, there's going to be some new figures that they are releasing to match the 10th anniversary headliners, and then some little keychains and stuff. They did highlight that these are only going to be purchasable if you are someone who lives in Japan, right? If you don't have residency in Japan, these things are not going to be purchasable for you. I'm sure there are ways to get around that, but this is not going to be a illegal purchasing tutorial video. So, yeah, they did release this, and then there was also a Dokkan original soundtrack that's going to be, unfortunately, also only available to people living in Japan. But yeah, they released this here, that there's going to be a little Goku, or I'm sorry, a little 10th anniversary, like, Dokkan OSTs something. I don't know if it's going to be like the entire game worth, or if it's just stuff focused around the 10th anniversary specifically. I'm not sure, but they did show off. It looks like it's going to be like an 8-disc set. So yeah, could be really, really cool. I would absolutely love to get my hands on one of these. But yeah, they did say that they're only going to be available to people living in Japan. And then, yeah, I think that was just about everything that they talked about in the stream. Not too many other details to go over there. Yeah, so that is basically everything. Let me know which of the 3 new headliners you guys are the most excited for. For me personally, I think it's the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. And then second in line, very, very close second, will be the Goku Frieza, simply because of my Universe Survival Saga bias. And honestly, I'm not really that hyped for the Gogeta at all. I think that they did a decent job with the Vegito, but he does have some problems in his kit that are going to make him, 1, frustrating to use for people, and 2, like, not age well in the meta, I think. And so what I would predict, something that has already been brought up, is that the fusion going into the Gogeta for the new headliner is a limited thing. Like, you're going to be able to fuse into Vegito, but it's going to be a like, for a limited amount of turns. So the point being brought up is the part 1 Vegito has the exact same condition where, once you transform him, he's only there for 4 turns and then he defuses. And the reason why is because he's been given counters that hit insanely hard. So if they let you stay there permanently, you could just destroy any event in the game, right? So they're making that limited. They have made the Vegito fusion, or the Gogeta fusion, limited as well. So now we're all questioning what's going to be the major thing that, like, what major thing are they giving him that's going to make it worthwhile to only have him out for a couple of turns. My prediction is that they will give him the same mechanic as, like, the physical Carnival LR Gogeta that we've got. Let's see, he should be on Transformation Boost. Yeah, him right here. So where he's got the... okay, so he's got the active skill here once he's transformed into blue, right? Where he is going to be doing this. So he basically is going to protect the entire team, make sure that all the attacks hit him for the turn, and then he guaranteed evades them as well. I would predict that the Part 2 LR is going to have a mechanic like this. Now, the reason that I'm predicting that is because if we take a look at the categories here, you'll notice that Gogeta is going to be on Earth Protecting Heroes. So this new Gogeta card is going to be on Earth Protecting Heroes, which means he's on the Part 1 LR's leader skill. Now imagine you're able to bring out both Vegito and Gogeta side by side on the same turn. that would be like the most OP thing in the game, probably, because we already know Vegito is #1, and we would assume that Gogeta is either going to be #1 when he releases, or that he's going to be a solid #2 right behind Vegito, right? That would make the most sense, being the Dokkan Fest headliner and everything. So I think that the way that they will balance this is they will give him this mechanic right here. If they do this, then what that means is on the turn where you use this active skill, this means Vegito's going to get 0 counters for that turn, because all of the attacks are going to be targeted toward Gogeta, and then instead you would just not take any damage with whatever other characters are on rotation, but then you would miss out on all the extra damage that Vegito can do, right? So I think that they're going to apply some type of trade-off where these two units are not built to be used side by side, but they're actually going to be competing against one another, and like neither of them are going to be at their max potential if you're using them on the same team together. That's what I assume they're going to do. So we'll have to wait and see the kit for sure to know, you know, for guaranteed. But I'm pretty sure I'm onto something here with that. So we'll see if I'm right in that prediction. But okay, that is the final thing that I wanted to mention there before we wrap up. So yeah, please let me know what you guys are the most hyped for with part 2. I'm very curious to know what you guys are looking forward to, so I know what to make videos on for you. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below. That's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.